Hello, this is Bishop Doherty from the Diocese of Lafayette-in-Indiana. This little clip is going to deal with faith and family and just some ideas, maybe not all sewn together in a very strong way, but I want us to consider certain resources and certain ideas. One of them is we want to be very sensitive out in our parishes that not everybody lives in a family or is a member of a family. In some of our parishes, we measure households instead of families. But if you're not in a family right now, I still think you can gain something from this. You're always related to somebody by a relationship of blood or a neighbor or however. The first thing we should know is that there are plenty of resources to think about how faith and family are related. There's an office which has all kinds of resources out of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. It's called the Committee for Laity, Marriage, Family, Life, and Youth. It's easy to find. And it will have all kinds of things on all these different levels about connecting faith and family and speaking about God's grace in our vocations. So that's a resource. Another thing to think about is that the church refers to families as the domestic church. What does that mean? It really means that under our roof, especially with mom and dad or a parent and guardian raising children, that those relationships teach us an awful lot. When I used to teach high school, we had a phrase that religion is caught, not taught. And so kids can pick up an awful lot in a home by just saying grace, having an Advent wreath, remembering that Christmas is about the birth of Christ, those kinds of things. But also, those are the places where you learn how to talk about God. You learn the definition of charity and how to be charitable to the people that you live with. You learn, I hope, a little bit about forgiveness. If you don't experience that sometimes at home, it's very difficult to understand what the forgiveness of Christ can mean when we receive it sacramentally. Another thing about faith and family is to understand that faith is not a thing or an idea. Faith is really about a network of relationships, and the relationships can be based on blood, on proximity, on time. But in the Christian Catholic family, we also have relationships with the saints, with people who have died long ago, people who remain good examples for us. And if we think about some of the friends and relatives that we've lost over time, some days they're not very far away from us. Sometimes they appear in our dreams. And so faith is this wide network that we should be very conscious of. But there's a lot to be said for the strength of that faith as it develops under our own roof. It's sustained and strengthened as we go to church and meet with other people in public ways. But it's a very powerful influence that we should not lose track of. And the domestic church reminds us that that's the place where children should first be learning about faith. That means about Christ, about relationships, forgiveness, charity, among other things. God bless you.